In Luke chapter 16 and verse 10, Jesus said, "Whoever can be trusted with little can be trusted with much," or whoever is faithful with that which is small can be trusted with that which is great. And so God is often looking for men and women that He can trust with the little things. And great things happen. He surprises us with the great things when we trust Him and believe Him and obey Him in the little things. And so I want to talk to you about obeying God today with the little things of your life. So many times I meet people who want to do the great and mighty things, but they don't want to be faithful in the small things. Just being faithful in studying the Word, in your prayer life, just walking with God in the little things, and God will do the rest. He'll surprise you later on. I remember my ministry began many years ago in East Berlin and in the communist world, going there and preaching and ministering, and it was extraordinary what God did. But it began with a man who had trusted God with small things. You see, this man under Hitler's regime refused to Heil Hitler, and so he was thrown in prison. And then when the communists took over and they said that he couldn't preach, and so he was at his home. That's all he could do, was stay at his home. He couldn't preach in a church or anything like that. So this man would be in his home and someone would come to them and he'd just preach to them. And that's when I met him. And I remember sitting down at his table, my wife and I, and he just took his big old finger and he just began to shake it and preach to me and share the Word of God with me. And then he said something that just shocked me. He said, next summer, there are going to be 100,000 atheist youth gathered here to be trained to evangelize the world for atheism. And I want you to come and share the good news of Jesus Christ with them. And I said, they'd never let me do that. That would be impossible. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, with men, it is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Well, he said, you pray about it. I prayed about it. And two friends of mine, Fred Bishop and Fred Starkweather, and I went back to East Berlin, and we went through that meeting of 100,000 atheist young people, and we just began to share the gospel with them, and God did so much. We saw 200 hardcore atheist young people come to know Christ. They were from all over Eastern Europe, and we began to travel to their cities and their communities and follow them up, and we discovered that most of them really followed through with that commitment, were living for Christ, and God just opened an entire ministry. He surprised us. He surprised us because one man, one old man in East Berlin, couldn't have a church, couldn't do all the things that everyone else did. But do you know what? He was faithful in the small things. And God blessed and surprised and opened up a ministry to the whole world. Oh, when we get to heaven, we're going to discover that the great men and women of God that He used were those who were faithful in the small things. So are you faithful today with the small things so that He can trust you tomorrow with great things?